Yeah, college sports has gotten so crazy right now. If you were a college football head coach right now, what would you be doing to build your program's brand?
I would be making content. I'd be making content about the people around the organization. And honestly, I would build a reputation of what we've been talking about here, which is a lot of coaches pander to talent and lose the team. Yeah. I have a lot of thoughts on coaching.
Yeah.
It's very much like building a big business.
Yeah.
My number one piece of, forget about fucking marketing, my number one piece of advice for the coaches here is bench your best player if he's a fucking idiot. People, like too many, like I talk to these kids. Yeah. You know, we obviously have a sports agency plus NIL, like we're deep.
Yeah.
These coaches are, a lot of them have become too similar to modern parents. They're over coddling their best players.
Because they're afraid they're going to transfer, right?
You got it.
Yeah.
The problem is, and I get it, like the counter a coach would be like, is like, that's cute, Gary, but talent matters. I'm like, no shit. Recruit better on talent that can accept a benching. Now, again, then they would counter and be like, hey, Gary, that's cute, but these are 18-year-old kids. I'm like, fair. But like create some fucking resemblance of when the inmates run the asylum, it's game over. And so, shit, if there's a transfer portal, let's get into trading. If I was a coach at Michigan State, I'm just using that random, and my best player is a bozo, I'm gonna fucking trade him to Arkansas State. I think that, and then to attract the talent, I would be in the trenches. I told Jordan Schultz to be a long time ago, like get in the DMs early, and that's really worked for him. I think coaches should start building relationships with kids younger, and social media is the platform. Yeah,
there's a bunch of players now in college football that are making, even in high school now, making $400,000 to go to a school. You got quarterbacks making millions of dollars before they get to college. What's some, well, I say this in the context that I've seen hype and money kill talent a lot of times, and can kill dreams.
Yeah, money exposes who you actually are.
Yeah.
That kid would have lost anyway.
Yeah.
Money just accelerates the truth.
Yeah.
There's plenty of kids that got a lot of money who are going to go on to be NFL Hall of Famers. You know, so I think that's truth, but I think that that's what happens there. But go ahead, you were going to say?
Well, I was going to say, what advice would you have for a young kid who is 17 years old, comes across all this money, now still has to go perform, and all the dynamics of, in recruiting, every coach is telling you how amazing you are, and that you're going to save their program, you're the best thing since sliced bread. And I think it's an interesting dynamic now when you throw all the money in the fold.
You know, I mean, look, this is some real fucking talk. The first thing I would say is tune your parents out. For 90%, you know this, for 95% of them, tune your fucking parents out. The parents are the problem.
Yeah.
Not the coaches in the program. Mommy and daddy get in your pockets.
Yeah.
And by the way, you're talking to a kid who was obsessed to make mommy and daddy money because he loved them so much. So I also know there's a ton of kids right now like, fuck you, Gary. My single dad, my single mom, my grandma, like, I gotta put, and I'm like, of course, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Take care of your fam, but pay attention to what you want.
Yeah.
Like, and do you want this, my big thing with these kids is like, are you okay if this is your last bag? Because as you know, for a lot of them, it will be their last bag.
Yeah.
Because they won't go to the next level. They won't transfer portal because they'll fuck up everything between their senior year and their freshman year, right?
Yeah.
We've seen it. You and I have both seen it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I would say to tune the noise out, including your parents. Do the right things by the people who deserve it around you. You know, this is a tough one for a 17, 18-year-old kid. Don't use money to fix fractured relationships.
Yeah.
I see a lot of these.
Can't buy the friendships. Yeah.
Yeah, I see a lot of these kids use it to, if it's something as silly as like a former girlfriend, or if it's something as real as a mom and dad kind of abandoned them, and they're kind of, that dynamic is like, be thoughtful, get into your therapy mindset, get into your positive thinking, get into your grounded, get into your, this right here, what I just did, I can't hear you by the way. This right here, what I just did is the single best move a young kid that gets money can get. And by the way, that same shit's gonna help you when you're in a big house and 100,000 people are booing you. Yeah. And that shit that I just did is gonna be the same thing when fucking, an analyst says you suck, and that shit's gonna work for you when Mel Kiper says going into the draft that you're not gonna translate to the next level, and that shit's gonna matter when you start mini camp your rookie year in the NFL and you realize you're playing with men now and you ain't ready for this shit, and that shit's gonna matter when you find you're 23 and you got drafted by the Giants and you fucking are out in this city and those 30-year-old girls are all up in your money and they just want your fucking money, and like that shit, this is the most important thing a fucking human could ever do.